except burglars don't tiptoe. Burglars break doors. And you're also right about a very few troublemakers, we call them thugs, in the community commit most of the crime. And those are the ones we sent to penitentiary. They're also the ones that the legislature is busy letting out. I wasn't going to let it go. So, good evening, crime fighters. Successful prosecutions always involve the teamwork of citizens who get involved, police investigations, and prosecutors. Albert Einstein said, "The world is a dangerous place, not because people are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it." This room is full of just some of the people who have chosen to do something about it, to get involved. Those of us at the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office are proud to be in your midst here tonight. Tonight, for the past several years, we at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office have honored individuals whose work and involvement has really made a difference in the success our office has had in court. With me tonight are Luana Redcorn and Kathy Phillips, two of our outstanding long-term prosecutors in our office, and they're going to help us pass out the awards we've chosen to pass out. In law enforcement, there are few duties, if any, more important than investigating and prosecuting those who abuse children. Since 1999, Jesse Harris has performed this duty in an exemplary manner, first as a detective and now as a supervisor. On November 25th, 2008, 2-year-old Caitlin Stinnett was brought to the University of Kentucky Trauma Center with life-threatening injuries. She had been physically and sexually assaulted. Caitlin died 8 days later as a result of the outstanding investigation by Jesse and his unit, and primarily Jesse's interview, which resulted in the confession by the defendant, Brian Crabtree. This past September, Crabtree pled guilty to the murder, sodomy, and rape of 2-year-old Caitlin Stinnett. Crabtree was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Many of you may be aware that Jesse had a death in his family and couldn't be here tonight. So we've asked Commander John Gensheimer, his former supervisor in the Special Victim Sections of the Crimes Against Children unit, to accept this token of our appreciation on Jesse's behalf. Next, we want to recognize the homicide detectives whose dogged investigation led to the arrest and conviction of the killer of Umi Southworth. As we all know, this case received a great deal of attention in our community. It presented a number of unique difficulties. Luana Redcorn, Kathy Phillips, and I prosecuted that case. We turned over almost 5,000 pages of discovery material, which represented the investigative file in that case. But I don't want to focus on the problems. I want to focus on the persistence of these detectives and their determination to solve this crime. This was not an easy case by any means. The amount of investigative effort, which was led by Detective Bill Brislin, Detectives Chris Schoonover and David Richardson, and their supervisor, Lieutenant James Curlis, was extraordinary. This investigation took them across the country and beyond. It took months, but they never ever wavered in their determination to hold Umi's killer accountable. From the day Umi was killed in June of 2009 through the trial in which the jury found Donald Southworth guilty of her murder and sentenced him to life in prison, these detectives never lost focus and determination to solve this case. Because of their extraordinary efforts in this extremely difficult case, we would like to recognize Detectives Bill Brislin, Chris Schoonover, David Richardson, and Lieutenant James Curlis with an expression of our appreciation and that of our community. Tracy Hoffman, Laura Hall, Marcy York, and Susan Whitney. These women's involvement as private citizens played a critical role in the Umi Southworth murder. If you attended the trial or followed it in the media, you may have heard of those Fazoli's women. They were co-workers at Fazoli's corporate headquarters and good friends of Umi Southworth. When Umi did not show up for work for her last day, June the 9th, 2010, they feared for her life, and they got involved. They were afraid of Donald Southworth, and with good reason, but regardless of their fear, they did set out to find Umi. They showed up at her house. Most importantly, they interrupted the cover-up plan that was already being put in place by Umi's killer, her husband. They confronted him when he did not provide the information they sought. They flagged down a police officer for help. They served as extremely important witnesses during the trial. Those Fazoli's women are exactly the kind of citizen crime fighters that Albert Einstein had in mind when we have to deal with evil. They and so many others like them are what helps make our community what it is. We commend them and recognize their extraordinary efforts on the behalf of their friend, a citizen of our city, Umi Southworth. Thank you, ladies.